TylerPerry better get it together, because what?
We will not tolerate this Fatima storyline.
Fatima ain't no punk, ain't never been one, will never be. Don't play. Do not play with us having Robin blackmail that girl. Stop it. Stop it right now. We will not tolerate this. We will protest.
3, 2, 1.
Hi, it's me, Kamika, and welcome back to the It's Me, Kamika podcast. Today we're going to review Sistas Season 8, Episode 7. They titled it, Game Recognizes Game. Let's get the party started. You know what, Robin? I am so over you. Today was the last straw. This man sat up there and blackmailed Fatima. Now, you guys know Fatima is our girl. She a boss, quick on her feet. She's Andy's right-hand man. She's a badass, currently a law student, knowledgeable. She got common sense, street sense. And Robin got our girl out here looking extremely defeated. So defeated that when she went home to her man, she couldn't even tell him the ultimatum that Robin gave her. Robin, we are so over you. You got to go. We don't know what your motives are. Are you here? Like, are you Team Andy? You can't be, because you keep undermining Fatima. Robin's actions are inconsistent. He is saving Andy in her time of distress. Each and every time that she truly needs someone to come in and swoop in and save her, he's there. But then he's given Hayden all of her files. He's even given Hayden Fatima. He has now blackmailed Fatima into playing nice with Hayden. Something's up, y'all. We need to figure it out. What is the long-term strategy here? You just came back and just turned our world apart. These are questions, though, that we need to know. Seriously. This storyline of a weak Fatima, it's just not going to work, TylerPerry. It's just not. You know what? I'm ready for Fatima to become a lawyer, because that right there, that's going to be no joke. A Fatima spinoff would be the moment. He would slay all the girls on BET+. She would definitely be running circles around everybody. Y'all know Fatima was the personal stylist on the show. Like, that was her first job. According to TylerPerry, she was styling the actors and actresses on the show. Well, I think they're just called actors now. I don't think you can say actors and actresses. And look, she perfected her craft, and she is totally main character energy. But back to the show. Let's start from the beginning. We have Robin. He's talking to Fatima. He's giving her the evidence, which pictures of her on the floor from when the bodyguard, Gary's bodyguard, pushed her down and took her, you know what? You can't say it. He's asking Fatima about it, but does he really let her answer before he starts implicating her in Gary's attempted murder, saying that she had motives, reasons why she would want Gary to be done with. And that's because, Zach lost a lot of money with Gary, messing with Gary. And of course, Andy is her best friend. And then he tells her, hey, I can just have the investigator, sniff around basically for other motives from other people. And when she's like, hey, well, what's the catch? Does it seem like, you done just made me the villain here? And he's like, hey, you just have to make things right with Hayden. You have to be able to work with him in order for him not to submit the evidence or turn it over to the police. That's blackmail. I'm so upset. I am so upset. What if Robin was in cahoots with Gary? Wouldn't that be some ish? And the thing about it is, this has had so many twists and turns that can't be too far off. Like, that is not something we'd be like, oh, no, it couldn't happen. Please. We do need to find out what Robin's ulterior motives are, because we can't let him keep playing our girl like this. And we can't go another episode without Fatima contacting Andy, because awareness is key. And Andy is just clueless. Not only does she have no sense, no common sense, but she's also clueless to what's going on. And I know they're doing this to build us up, build up that tension, build up that, suspense. But it's on my last nerve. So next episode has got to be there. We got to hear that conversation. It's costing me my peace. So they need to speed things up a bit. So speaking of Andy, in this episode, Andy is at home and she has this elevator in her house, which is so crazy that people can just come up and just walk right into your house. I just don't like it. So in walks the detective, the one from the first episode when he was interrogating everyone. Dude is one screw short. Okay, if you know what I mean. And he's coming in hot. Okay, he's interrogating Andy. He even comes around and sits down. She didn't invite him to, but he did anyways. Kicks his feet up on her table. I'm just like, Andy, come on, girl. Now, I know there's some type of law you could have cited to make him get back in the elevator and leave, but she chose to keep him there. Now, this guy, he cute. They always give Andy pretty boys. Have y'all noticed that? They give her all pretty boys. Hey, I'm not mad at it, okay? I love me a good pretty boy. So, he's interrogating her and, he tells her, hey, I'm going to take you in for questioning. He grabbed her by her, arm and, it's time to go. And in swoops Robin. It should be like a ray of light as he comes off of the elevator just in time. Cue the music. I'm over Robin because, like I said, he comes in and he saves the day for Andy, but here he is behind Andy's back blackmailing Fatima. Make it make sense. It's not making any sense at all. So he's, he tells him, hey, you're not going to take her anywhere and, blah, 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 blah. So the guy goes, he gets in the elevator and leaves. And Andy flies into his arms, like, oh my God, you are, my hero type of embrace. And, she holds him close. They almost kiss. And then, she pulls back because of her love for Jordan, her boyfriend / ex-boyfriend. So he's still trying to get in there. How do you try to get in there good with Andy, but you didn't gave all her cases away at work? Like, oh, geez. Only TylerPerry would do this to us. He's doing a great job at confusing us on what Robin's motives are. So, to recap, we don't know where she stands emotionally when it comes to Gary, because she had this breakdown at the hospital where she's professing her undying love towards him and how, she wishes things were different and where they can go back to how they once were. Then we have Robin, who she used to be with, but then he left. Now that he's back, there's no denying that there's chemistry there. This is the second time that they almost kissed. Okay, so what's to come of this, right? And then we have Jordan. We can't forget about him. He has lost everything, but he was with Andy and he was, running for office. Now that he isn't anymore, we don't really see him as much, I guess you could say. But still, she brings him up as the reason she can't kiss Robin. So she has herself a whole love triangle. And honestly, there is a little chemistry between she and the detective. So what's up? We, the people, would like to know who she's ultimately going to end up with. Why? Why do I get this creepy, crawly feeling that it's going to be Gary? I'm so over Gary. Gary and Hayden can both kick rocks. But you know what? I just realized Gary is not a pretty boy, huh? He's a nice looking man. Don't get me wrong. He's fine. But he's not a pretty boy. So maybe they don't give her all pretty boys, but Robin is, Jordan is, and this detective is. Most of the time, it's the one that's different that you like the most. Different from what you're used to, different from what you usually go to, that you really like the most. I know this isn't real life, but I'm just saying. Listen, y'all. I'm just trying to figure out a way to make this okay for her to be with Gary, because if Tyler goes here, I'm going to scream. If this is the way we're going, I'm going to scream. I'm just trying to make sense of this. Like, why would she choose this guy? Nothing in their past was positive. He had the crazy wife. He was crazy. Nothing screams we should be together. So the fact that, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, let's get into Gary. Gary has had another attempt on his life. Okay. Someone has come in and put something in his IV. The doctor tells Hudson, Gary's friend and employee, that it was street grade heroin laced with fentanyl. Hudson starts tripping. He's asking, was this any members of your staff? And really just tripping that this happened to his friend. Although I have my suspicions, okay, because Hudson, he don't seem right. But then he asks, how is Gary doing? And that's when the doctor's like, oh, let's go see. Let's enter his room and see how he's doing. And Gary's awake and he is alert. And the first thing that he does is ask for Hudson to call Andy. Oh, how do you wake up from a coma and the one person you want to talk to is Andy? I don't know. Where is this going? Is Andy going to pick up the phone and be like, oh my God, Gary, I love you? And this, I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to prepare myself to be annoyed because I feel like this is where Tyler is taking us. This is a good show. Let me tell y'all something. I didn't think the show would last when I watched it the first 3 seasons. I was just really trying to support the show. But over time, I'm totally sold. Okay, so we have him waking up, we have him calling Andy, and Andy, she's like, Gary. And then that's how the show ends as it relates to Andy and Gary. So here's my question. I have a few. What do you think Gary wants from Andy? Like, why is he calling Andy of all people? He could call Hayden. He could talk to Hudson about what's been going on, what's playing out. First person he wants to talk to is Andy. So what do you think he wants from her? Now, we need to explore exactly who Hudson is and what his position is. Is he loyal to Gary and he's just caught in the crossfire of things? But he just seems a little suspicious. Something's off. So what do we think about him? What do we think about Hudson? And do we think that Andy is going to stay loyal to Jordan? Or is she going to explore her feelings for Robin? Because that's undeniable, that chemistry that she and Robin have. So while Andy and Fatima have been dealing with these issues with these men, when it comes to loyalty, betrayal, Karen, Danny, and Sabrina they're dealing with equally compelling issues, but very different. So Karen's mom comes to the salon and Karen talks to her about how she has been handling having 2 different babies by 2 different men at the same time, and how the investigator even used that against her when he was interrogating her. And she's telling her mom that, this is starting to get to me. And she doesn't understand because, men, they can run out, have children by all these different women and never be judged in the same manner that women are judged. And the mom brings up a good point. She says, the crazy part about it is it's not so much the men judging, it's more so other women judging and labeling and shaming other women. And we all know that resonates with all of us, It is a lot of shaming, women shaming other women. Where is the solidarity? Let's transition to Danny. Now, if you all know, there's 3 people that have really been getting on my nerves this season. It's Hayden, can't stand him. There is Robin, because why? Why are you here? Gary, okay, that's 3. So this is the 4th one. Gary, he just gets on my nerves because it's like, do you have 9 lives and we want you to go with your fine self? But there's also Danny, and Danny can't seem to get out of her own way. And she just gets on my last nerve. I hated the way that she acted with Preston, pushing that man away. Now she got her new boo, and she's pushing him away. So they're at work, and they decide, you know what? Let's make up, okay? They hate when they're arguing. They come to an agreement. They come to resolve, and they're good now. However, the camera pans over to her coworkers, and they are starting to notice the chemistry between Danny and her boss boyfriend. Someone get HR on the line. This could be trouble down the line. The fact that they showed us that her coworkers are talking amongst each other about their chemistry. And Danny, let that come to Danny's attention. She's not going to handle that gracefully. And what if she loses her job? And maybe this will force her to do something else. Because from what I get, is that Danny is complacent. And maybe this is a storyline that's brewing. Hopefully, because I want Danny to pivot. I want to see Danny flourish. But first, she has to stop sabotaging herself and really just take accountability for her own happiness. Everybody wants Danny to grow, but herself. She needs a little shakeup. So this may be the shakeup this may be the shakeup that's going to happen. Okay. Maybe HR gets involved and someone loses their job. And maybe that someone is Danny. And maybe Danny will then flourish. Let's cross our fingers. Let's cross our fingers on that. But this does resonate with a lot of people. Sometimes you can become complacent with life, but definitely with your job. Oh my God. Because you've been there, there's tenure, you know the job in and out. And really it's about change and accepting it and really just wanting more for yourself, but also going after it. I want more for Danny. I want to see her in something besides that black skirt and that white shirt looking like an usher. So that's a wrap for this episode. Thank you for joining me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Remember, I'm always here for a good time, but not for a long time. So until next time.